So here's the big question. How do you sell heavy-duty parts in a digital world? That's the question, and this is the place where you're going to find the answers. My name is Jamie Irvin, and we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to another live broadcast. Today we are going to dive into the formula for success when we want to sell to fleets. And this is the place where we focus really on answering one big overarching question, right? How do we sell more heavy-duty parts in a digital world? With all of our live broadcasts, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or on LinkedIn, please, if you want to ask a question or you want to throw in a comment and participate in today's conversation, please do so. When you do, we can bring you right in just like this and we can talk directly. So by all means, participate. We love that. You know, as a sales account manager, when I was working for national parts distribution companies or for manufacturers, the fleet is really the big target, right? And trying to reach fleets when you're part of the independent service channel is an uphill battle. And then, of course, we have all of the dramatic changes in both technology as well as the introduction of the digital sales channel, and it becomes very complex. So today I wanted to share with you some of the information that I received when I recently sat down with a national fleet with over 4,200 units, and they operate all over North America. And I really wanted to know what their opinion was of the independent service channel, their willingness. I wanted to gauge their willingness to work with the independent service channel. And I wanted to know what the formula for success was so I could share it with you. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And then, of course, we're going to connect it to the digital sales channel and how you can use digital tools to effectively reach big fleets, well, really small or large, but even a large fleet like this one that I'm going to talk about today with over 4,200 units. So the first thing that we need to get out of the way is that when you are a fleet and you're buying trucks, you need a relationship with the OES, right? If you're going to buy a Kenworth or a Pete, you got to have a relationship with the dealership, with the service shop at the dealership for warranty purposes and things like that. And so the larger the scale of the fleet, the more essential it is for them to have a national program to give them coverage wherever their trucks go. But in that is also an opportunity for the independent service channel. And when I pressed these fleet maintenance managers and really wanted to get their opinion, they said that they're happy to work with the independent service channel because there are times when they have a truck that needs to be repaired. They need to buy some parts. They need to get some work done. And maybe the dealership is booked out for a week and they can't have their truck down for a week. So there is an opportunity for the independent service channel, the independent parts supplier. But what formula do they have to follow in order to successfully do business with one of these large fleets? Well, from this particular fleet's perspective, there are 4 core things that are essential for the independent service channel and those part suppliers that work along with the independent service channel to get right. And I found them interesting. The first one is training. At the end of the day, the way that trucks have advanced in the last few years, they have become much more difficult to diagnose problems, to be able to fix the real problem, not just the symptom. They don't want to bring their truck to an independent service shop and have that shop just throw parts at the problem. So getting the right training is essential. And certainly the people who work, the repair technicians who work for the dealerships, they get a tremendous amount of training. Not that long ago on the Heavy Duty Parts Reports live that we do every Friday, we had a parts manager from a Kenworth dealership group in Wichita come on the show. And, he talked about why there's often a big difference in labor rates between a dealership and the independent. And a lot of that comes down to the costs related to keeping those technicians that work for the dealerships up to date with the training. And there's a big cost there. And so that's one of the reasons. So if the independent service channel is going to compete and is going to be able to work with the fleets, the larger fleets, and of course, this has a trickle-down effect regardless of whether you're dealing with an owner-operator with one truck or a large fleet with thousands of units. But being able to have that training in place for your people is an essential component to being successful. The next core item that is absolutely essential is having the diagnostic capability. So it's one thing to know what to do. It's another thing to have the tools to be able to read the fault codes, do the diagnostics, and be able to present the fleet with a realistic understanding of, first of all, what's gone wrong, and second of all, how to fix it. Now, of course, if you've bought a truck and you take it to that dealership, they're going to have the OEM diagnostic tools. The independent service channel has some options, but the option that I recommend is to work with Diesel Laptops. Now, Diesel Laptops is an all makes diagnostic tool and software provider. They work with all the brands that are out there, Texa, Kojali, those kinds of brands. They also have their own proprietary software and products, but they are able to get the independent service channel like somewhere in the ballpark of 98% there, meaning whatever truck comes through the shop, they will be able to help you on the diagnostic side. So if you haven't gotten there yet, check out diesellaptops.com. The app that they have for parts, Diesel Parts, is now mobile on both Apple and Android devices. And if you are interested, they are a longtime sponsor of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. So by all means, that is something that if you're in the parts game, you need to check out, especially if you're on the independent side. So diagnostics was a big concern to large fleets. Now, the next thing was labor rate. And this is where independents have an opportunity. I never really like to encourage people to lead with price, but the reality is that the independent service channel can be more cost effective than the OES. Therefore, when a large fleet decides to go with someone in the independent service channel to get them back on the road, the labor rate is something that can attract them and make them want to do business. So not only is it that you've got the ability to fix their truck, to diagnose the problems correctly, you've got the tooling, but you've got a really competitive labor rate. This is valuable to the fleet. And of course, availability. And that's when really these large fleets who have national programs deviate from those programs, is when something has happened that prevents whoever is running the national program for them is preventing them from getting that truck back on the road. And that's where the opportunity opens up. And so if you have availability to do the work, and as a parts supplier, if you've got the parts on the shelf in that location, you can deliver it quickly. This combination of having high quality parts available, having the service shops ready to do the work, either in shop or mobile, is all part of the decision making that goes on at these large fleets when they decide to deviate from their national program and go with a local independent. And so understanding these things is essential to being able to successfully market and put yourself in the position where they're going to call you when that opportunity arises. And that's the connection to the digital sales channel and how this conversation really connects to our overarching goal here with this live presentation that we do each Thursday to help people understand how to leverage digital tools to be able to sell more parts. So if you were going to design a campaign and you were going to market, or your salespeople were going to present to large fleets, understanding the 4 core things, how would you go about creating digital content to communicate to those fleets that you are their best option when they are in a situation that they have to deviate from their national program and are going to select someone in the independent service or parts channel. Well, for me, if I was heading that campaign, I would come up with 4 videos and I would put them prominently on my website. And I would talk about the training that I have put my people through. I would talk about the diagnostic capabilities that my shop has. I would talk about the competitive labor rates that I'm able to offer. And I would talk about how we have availability, not only on service, but also on parts. And I would partner with a local parts supplier who would be able to help me back up that claim. Now that's if I was in the service shop. If I was on the parts side, it would be very much the same thing. I would talk about the training I've put my parts people through so that they'll be able to identify correctly the parts they need. I would talk about how we work with the independent service channel that have the diagnostic capabilities with diagnostic tools. And as a parts company, I would also talk about Diesel Decoder, which is offered by Dorman Products. Diesel Decoder is a simple product, but it allows parts counters to be able to plug in and get a code and understand what's going on. So if you're a parts company and you don't know what Diesel Decoder is, go to Dorman Products and check it out. And you can also go to the heavydutypartsreport.com and look at some of our back episodes, because we've done some presentations about Diesel Decoder. So this would be part of the video that I would put together as a parts company. Then I would also talk about how the availability of our parts, the quick delivery, and the competitive prices, which is the last thing I would talk about, because we never want to lead with that, because that's not really a differentiator. But when you put all the components together, you'd be able to offer a value proposition to larger fleets. And when people are evaluating, right? So if you've got some fleet maintenance manager who is located 2 provinces or states over, and that truck breaks down in your area, what's the first thing they're going to do, right? Once they look at the available options, they're going to start checking out websites, and they're going to be looking for someone to be able to help them fix that truck, help them supply the parts necessary. So if I was a parts person, I would be sitting down with the independent repair shops that I serve, and I would be talking to them about getting their messaging right and making sure that they relied on me to get the parts there on time. And that would allow them to focus on what they do best, which is fix the truck. So digitally, we have this opportunity to create some really specific content structured in the right way. And I mean, if you had 4 30 to 60-second videos that just hit all of those points, don't you think that fleet maintenance manager is going to go ahead and say, yeah, these are the people, and I'm going to send my truck there? And it's not just the situation where it's like a truck down and they're far away from home. It's also all the local fleets in your area that perhaps are part of larger programs, but making those fleet maintenance managers aware of you as an option, whether you're part of the independent service channel, you're part of the parts supply chain, making sure they understand that you've got it figured out. You understand these 4 core things, and you've taken steps to make sure that you can provide them with exceptional service and be able to get their truck back on the road. This is what's going to resonate, and this is what's going to open up opportunities for you if you're in the independent service channel or parts supply chain. And those digital tools enable you to communicate 24/7, whether you're there to talk directly with them or not. People can find that information. And once they see that information, it's most likely they are going to just move ahead and do business with you. The digital tools available to us today give us that opportunity to be able to present our high quality messaging all the time. It's so powerful, and we don't want to underestimate it. So we want to do the work. Now, I work with heavy duty parts companies all the time on helping them get the message right, helping them make the content. And I've got a little video that I want to share with you as we conclude today's live. Thank you so much for watching. And the replay will be put on heavydutypartsreport.com. In the video section on the homepage, just scroll down. You'll see the video right there. So if you're coming into this and you've missed the first part of the live presentation, don't worry. The whole video will be made available in about a half an hour. So again, if you're looking for help in this regard, that's something that I can do. And I've made this little video for you. We'll just watch that now. As soon as I get to the right spot. Okay, thanks. Bye. Do you want to make your marketing stand out? Well, you can't sound or look like everyone else. If you sell heavy-duty parts, it's time to create your unique message, a message that truly stands out. And we can help. Our team provides consulting and marketing services to heavy-duty companies. Go to heavydutypartsreport.com/standout to learn more. That's heavydutypartsreport.com/standout.